Hi Aries, this is Fuel the Soul, and I'm here with your mid-month reading for April 15th through the 31st. I have shuffled these cards and I'll break them up in front of you as well. Ah, okay, one more and then there we go. That felt better. And then we'll just break them up. Okay, so Aries, we're going to do one card as the subject kind of and three cards to support it. Here we go. The first card is Judgment. Next card, the Five of Wands. The Two of Swords. And the Knight of Cups. Okay, Judgment. Judgment is basically like the higher self of you speaking to you, or like the spirits, the energies around you kind of commanding your attention, your presence. They're like this, you know? Judgment is about sometimes having to look at situations that maybe you weren't prepared to really look at. Judgment is a calling sometimes that you receive from a higher light, a higher being, a higher it's an awakening. It's a calling. It's a it's something like this, you know? And judgment sometimes can be pretty heavy, you know? It's looking and dealing with things that perhaps are not easy to see. Now, judgment can also, I don't want to sound heavy because judgment can also be a good thing in a person's life. I'm not trying to say it's bad, but it can be a very good thing. Sometimes we get lost along the way. Sometimes we lose ourselves a little bit. Sometimes we play too much in the gray, and judgment can bring you back in. You know, it kind of says, hey, shh, 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 hey, no more of that. You know, you've kind of been playing there for a while, this little gray area. We want you back over here. Come on, come on. You know, we don't want you on the dark side, on the black. We want you in the white. You've been playing in the gray for a while. Time to kind of come back now. So judgment has its place because it really can help a soul kind of wake up and come back in to reality about what's going on. So let's go to the next card and then I'll kind of read on as we go. The next card is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands speaks of conflict. So somewhere there's some conflict going on for Aries. Now the conflict could also be around you not necessarily at you. Believe me, it doesn't have to be you. It could be around you and you're feeling it. And some of that energy is rubbing off onto you because when there's conflict around you, then you have to deal with it. Because there's a heaviness, this energy's around you and it affects you. Um, and also, too, Aries, it could be that you're having conflict with another soul. The reason I say that is because the next card is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is also about making choices, tough choices sometimes. This female energy in this card, she shows concern over a choice. The swords are not easy. And so she's caught like in a dilemma, not knowing what to do. She really is. She's just kind of in this dilemma. There's a dilemma going on here. Next card. Here we go. Knight of Cups. Wow, I feel like I'm doing love readings, even though I'm just reading general readings. A lot of them have been relationships. All this month, they've been, feels like, all these signs. So this one is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups, you know, he's down for some love, right? Except for he's going in the other direction. So this girl's looking one way, worried and concerned. And this Knight of Cups, so I'm hoping I'm going the right way. You'll have to forgive me if this is incorrect. No, that would be looking forward. So I'm so sorry. I have to show you how it looks to me. This is what it looks like to me. So this is what I would want to tell you. They're looking in different directions. And it's almost like he's looking for love somewhere else. Or extending his energy, the love energy, but it's going in a different direction from this female energy, the Two of Swords. Is it possible that there's conflict here in a relationship? Yes. And the judgment could be about Aries having to look at something that's really hard to look at. That that possibly Aries has to look at something from within, and how possibly Aries took part in this conflict energy that I'm kind of feeling here. Or also too, it could be that Aries has to look at truths. And it doesn't have to be about, oh, it's Aries' fault. No, I'm saying that it could be that Aries is having to look at things that are really tough to look at. Not easy, because there's conflict here. There's conflict here. And it looks to me that it's very possible that it's about two people. Excuse me. So sorry about that. So it could be about a male and a female energy. And the female energy here, you can mix them up. You can. But I'm going to call it how I see it. It's a chick. So, like, again, I'm just going to say it. I see the female having to make a decision, a tough choice here. And it could be about this male energy. Now, does he wander? And does she have an idea about it? Does he like to be too free? And does she worry about that? Is this energy like to just kind of do his thing? And she worries? And so that causes conflict? It could just be that these two people have differences going on. and they're not necessarily meshing well. And so there's this feeling of two separate ways of feeling. Um, Maybe one energy here thinks everything's okay because they're just kind of, right now they're looking the other direction, but doesn't mean it's permanent. Just means this person's like interested in many things and his attention's being diverted right now. And it could be too that this energy here just is on is just not is uneasy about the relationship, but it could be for many reasons, and not so much like a cheating, or it could just be about that they both have two different values going on, two value systems, where they're not necessarily connecting so great lately. And so what's happening is that there's this conflict, like stupid tiffs, stupid fights, maybe some really important ones too. And for Aries, it could be that Aries is having to look at it. And I know you don't want to sometimes. I know it's hard, but this card is kind of calling for your attention, for you to look at what's going on here, because you matter. And so Aries, you have to think about yourself. And I don't know if it's necessarily selfish. I feel like you have to be smart. You have to prioritize and take care of your mind, your heart, and your finances. So judgment could be coming in saying, hey, you need to look at this. There's some stuff going on here. And are you partly involved in this? Are you influencing this? Are you causing this conflict? Or is there a person here, one of these two parties, that's doing it? So look, Aries, couples get into it. Couples have differences. We are not all alike. Sometimes, and I'm not saying you're doing this, I'm just bringing this up. Sometimes we as male or female energies, we want someone to be just like us. Yeah. And sometimes we like, well, why don't you like that? Or why don't you, like, well, they don't like it because they're a whole other person. But yet we've been with somebody, and so we start kind of picking on them, thinking, well, how come you don't like this? And I like it. How come you don't like it? It tastes great. Or this, a great film. Or I love whatever. I love classic cars. I love museums, whatever. And how come you don't like it? It's obvious. It's wonderful. It has history and culture, whatever. And the other person's like, no, that's not really for me. So, there could be stupid little fights going on as like that. Like that. That's not really a fight. It's more just like, like, and it could just be that. But the judgment card comes through and says, hey, you really need to look at this and reel it in. You need to take care of this, Aries. Or if it's your partner, Aries, hey, take a look at this. I'm shining this light on you. There's angels and a flag, and there's this feeling of like, hey, I'm showing you that you need to look at this so it doesn't get out of hand. We don't want that. If you want to sustain this and continue it, then you have to look at it. It's okay. You can look at it. It's okay. But don't look at it angry. And don't point fingers. Look at it and see where your part is and how you can help and contribute to ease some of this static between these energies over here, so that you don't get to a point where maybe you don't like being around each other. And something could be more permanent later on along the road. Not, I don't see that, but I'm just saying, you know, judgment comes in and says, hey, look at this, Aries. Don't be afraid. And the fact that you're more aware and willing to tune in and look at it tells me that you care. You care about yourself. You care about your partner. You care about your world around you, the environment around you. And the universe sees that. And so they infuse in you, they enlighten you, and they give you the power to follow through and get through some of these rough patches that we have. You know, some relationships will last for long periods in your life, and some relationships will end much shorter along the way. And each time you interact with a being, you learn and you grow from that person, whether they were good, whether they were bad, whatever it was. You will learn from that person. And on your journey of life, if you stay with this partner, there's so much more that you both can evolve and grow into. People change all the time, couples change. Allow for change. You guys can both change. It's okay. As when one's falling back, the other one will tug you forward, take you with them. You both. I think sometimes we fight change and we resist, and that kind of really delays us. It delays your relationship. It delays your growth, and it's really more like maybe you both need to be more accepting of how the fact that you're changing. And sometimes it's tough for partners to talk, but I feel like sometimes a conversation or a change in the way Aries or the partner of Aries looks at things to help really crack this and kind of see what's inside, and something really nice could come out of there, something different, something new. um I see that somebody here is kind of in a little bit of a turmoil of making a choice, making a decision about another energy. But I feel like it doesn't, you don't have, well, you are concerned, you're worried, but maybe instead of doing that, you can turn this around and find methods or a new way of communicating about something here that's present. And also another thing, Aries, you know, if you ain't vibing it, it's not working for you. I don't expect Aries to stay stuck in something that doesn't make Aries happy. So I know I'm talking lots of different things, but I have to. I'm being told to tell you, so I gotta tell you. I also don't want you stuck in something that doesn't make you happy. At some point, you communicate and you clarify with the other person. You have to be clear. You have to be on. Well, you don't want to be brutally honest, but you want to be clear with that person. If something happens here later on where you have to make some other decisions, if there's too much conflict going on. So, this is a 2-week reading, guys. So this could be on people's minds, and there could be conflict in the next couple of weeks. And the judgment card is coming out to say, hey, come on, guys, reel it in. Let's work together so that there's no, so it seems to me that Aries has a little bit of tension going on in the month of April. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And this can easily turn around. So I'm telling you, that's what I'm feeling. Um, I like that the judgment card came out because it tells me, Aries, that you have this wonderful opportunity to make something happen. You have the power to shift things around here. So, Aries is in charge. Aries is in charge here. So it's like, okay, Aries, what do you want to do? And I want you to kind of look at that, feel it, and see how that, what you can do with that. So, because Aries is here, Aries is getting the messages from above. So, um, this is a 2 week reading. We'll see what May looks like. Maybe some of this stuff just kind of, maybe this is just a lot of, I want to say bric-a-brac, which is supposedly, I think bric-a-brac is like just junk. You know what I mean? So maybe this is just junk between two people, two energies, and it'll like, it'll go away. And it's not really so much of a big deal. But you guys still have to take care of it so it doesn't become a big deal. Okay? You hear me, Aries? All right. So I'm Fuel the Soul. This is your reading for mid-month, April 15th through the 31st. I will see you in the month of May. Blessings to you, Aries. Love you, and I will see you soon.